All right, guys. The next technique and position that we're going to use here from the 50-50 is going to be a backside tilt sweep. This, again, is not only a sweep, it's a catalyst, and it's the sort of thing that's going to make your opponent either A, fall over, or B, adjust his base and his weight significantly in a way that you're going to be able to move together and start to thread through your positions and create offense. Now, here we are in 50-50 again. As we've gone over, foot positioning and foot safety is very, very important. I never, ever, ever leave my heel exposed in my partner's holster, like where you'd be drawing your 6-shooter in the Wild West. That is not a safe place. If my foot's here, again, as we always discuss, it's covered on some level or another. Right now, my hips are on the mat just because I'm talking to you guys, but I will always have my hips up. This is not an acceptable place for me to hang out. If you'll notice also, particularly as a lankier person, I've got a great deal of space here because my hips are down. Can you just take your leg out of there, Adam, please? Well, bye. I had 50-50 and now I don't. Whereas here, that space goes away, and what you're going to find is that you're hanging on your partner's hip, as we've discussed prior. So my hips are up. In the gi, of course, I'm going to do my best to keep track of this sleeve, if only because a toe hold is a two-handed attack, and if I take away one of your hands, that tends to help stop two-handed attacks. If I'm hanging out here, if you turn all the way to your right side, please, and toe hold my foot. I really hate it when that happens. That can be really unpleasant. You told it. What's that? Like, ow. And I may not be able to stop that from happening. Significantly less of a concern, no gi, but in the gi, you might as well be keeping track of this sleeve. Now, when it comes to turning to the outside, the reason that you're going to see a lot of people struggle with this is that they stay in this position and they try to make this backside hook. This is incredibly unsafe. Adam, a sharp heel hooker like Adam, is just going to drop back, and this is going to be the end of the match and possibly the end of my knee, which I would really hate. So I'm going to lift up and I'm going to start to extend and turn my body. This is super important. If you'll notice, I'm pointing my heel in towards my partner's ribs, and this is making my foot inaccessible for the heel hook. All you have to do to not get foot locked or not get punched or not do anything is just make the situation not look like that. It's like do jiu-jitsu for dummies, which frankly is not a necessarily bad thing because that means that you can do it even if you get punched in the face and you're a little wonky at the moment. So we're here. Can you please see me? I'm not even going to do anything else.
Yeah, I can't reach it.
Nope. And also, even if you could reach it, you know, my foot's not facing right now it is. And if we come back, he may not be able to reach it, but if you sit up straight, he can reach it. Bad stuff happens. He readjusts. So I'm going to go from here to here, and I'm extending my leg into my partner's hip. I'm not trying to push him away, but I'm making this a solid frame so that if you lean into me, please, Adam, I can support my partner's weight and I can support myself without him getting too much closer to me. Now, this is allowing me to turn my body to the outside behind him, and I can make a backside hook, or I can make a foot mark on the inside of his knee or the inside of his thigh. It really doesn't matter which one. The backside hook is going to be a little bit more appropriate for dragging yourself behind your partner, however, or your opponent. For right now, all I'm looking to do is check here, because what I'm really trying to accomplish is creating some extension and dragging his hip to the mat. What you're going to find is this is very, very similar to an omoplata, wherein, kind of bark for a second, if Adam pummels his leg, or his arm underneath my leg, I can kind of weasel my foot here. It's not wrong. Or other times, you'll see Marcelo Garcia is a master of this, of course, is smacking my leg all the way over, breaking my partner's posture and getting very, very heavy on his shoulder. This is something that, again, you're going to see an omoplata variant, and that is commonly used and certainly used by some of the best omoplatas out there. This is going to be very, very similar because I'm checking and I'm bringing my foot to the floor, dragging my partner's hip into space. The purpose of my left foot here is to stop him from repositioning because I can accomplish the same thing. It's just he'll reposition. This is ultimately the problem with traditional martial arts, right? There's a lot of really great techniques, but the problem is if I don't do stuff to stop him from repositioning, just keep repositioning your back leg. He keeps moving. And it's not as if I'm accomplishing nothing. It's just he's unaccomplishing what I'm accomplishing. Whereas if we come back, I turn, extend him so that he's unable to follow me, and I drag his hip into a hole. Now, if you'll notice again, you could be the master super ninja heel hooker. I don't really care. Please heel hook me here.
I can't.
Correct. It's important to understand the distinction between someone doing three things and then heel hooking. Let's say I put my foot here and then he makes some adjustments. And I'm like, and he got me. He did not get me in one move. He did a bunch of stuff to undo this, and then he got me. I was negligent. I wasn't paying attention. But from this position right here with my toes pointing away, I am not heel hookable. I'm not hurtable. It's very, very important to understand that. That doesn't mean that I can sit here forever because Adam will eventually undo what I've done. However, if I turn myself to this position, post my hand on the mat, technically stand up and make my foot heavy, I am not at risk. So if we come back again, I'm looking at tilt back side. I'm like, man, I'm having a hard time going to the front corner. I'm not able to inside spin. 1, 2, extend, and use the inside pressure from your thigh to drag him into space. All the way up on top, settle the position to make sure that you score.